Welcome back to the Maven Show. This is your host Rohit. Today we have Thomas, the CEO of Instantly Relevant. Thank you, so Thomas, for getting into the show.
It is my pleasure to be invited onto your show. Thank you for having me.
Now we will be talking about a bunch of stuff today, like how to set the realistic expectations for the start of success mainly, and how you got started with your own entrepreneurship, and how is your agency going, I guess. I have seen like you have an amazing agency as well. You've been running from last 2.5 years now. Yeah, I have seen the clientele as well. So go ahead and tell me something about yourself, how you got started and how's everything going.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. Thomas Helfrich, I founded Instantly Relevant, but I don't usually use the word CEO. I usually say that I'm the founder's double, maybe triple secret marketing weapon. And we do that because our belief is, to be different, to be better, and our differentiators that we actually give a shit. So we do that. We come up with that. We lead with that because we really help the passionate founder, the ambitious entrepreneur, the pioneering startup be successful in leverage technology and marketing, all things that we do together to help them really be successful. So and we do that in a very strategical and tactical yet way to get things done. So you always have to repeat questions because I'll get on a monologue and forget what the original question was. But I think it was, how did I get started was the original one.
Yep.
Yeah. So a few years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I founded the company, and it was based on the pain point I saw in the marketing, or I'm sorry, in just the world of, I was a technology leader, been in advising, been in consulting for years. And the biggest pain point I had wasn't customers. It wasn't these other things. It was working with marketing to create content that was meaningful, that had the ability to be created quickly, that wasn't super expensive, that didn't lose the tonality or the voice of myself when I would create it. And it happened every time, every company, and I've been in plenty of them. Massively inefficient, way too big a marketing teams doing too few little things and not really delivering anything, or not enough. So I said, I think there's a better way. So my background being in intelligent automation and AI systems, I applied some of the rules and the fundamental things you do in that to leverage technology plus a human in the right moment, right tech, right human, right moment to accelerate a human. And so we applied that to what I do at Instantly Relevant. And my, initial use case was me. I'd said, I have a few thousand people on LinkedIn. How can I help grow my presence, my executive eminence by creating content and engagement and, and retaining customers and kind of nurturing them. And, I formed a team. We started leveraging tech. And here I am today with 172,000 followers on LinkedIn 2 years later. And I'm only about an hour a week in social media when I was like 30, because the teams manage it and do all that for me and for our customers. And we have inbound leads all day long when I'm not doing amazing podcasts. But the reason I can is because I don't spend lots of time creating content and engaging on social media. I'm doing higher value activities to build my business and add more value to our customers.
And how your agency portfolio looks like is it like what's the ICP, like mid-size enterprises or small?
Yeah, we focus exclusively on like the founder, the entrepreneur, and the startup. And so that could be people that are bootstrapped in growth mode, or even at the enterprise level, which is like Series A, B, C, or even IPO, or smaller public companies. So we really work with those teams that are really not thinking like traditional marketing. They see there's probably a better way to do it. They need a better way to do it. If that's one takeaway you want to do, is if you're a founder of marketing and you're, or you're an entrepreneur, you're a startup, if you're hiring people from the Fortune 500 to come run your company in the marketing area, you're probably going to spend way more than you need to. And you're doing it in a way that's thinking like a Fortune 500 company and not a startup that has to be agile, lean, aggressive, different. You have to be different, or you'll repeat the exact same mistakes that all the big companies make, but often can afford to because they have way bigger budgets than you're going to have.
And how you guys are specialized in founders and entrepreneurs to help or run successful brands or launch?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way we specialize in it is really by the differentiator we lead with on our website, which is we actually give a shit about you, your brand, and your customers. And the reason that's a differentiator is because we don't take the idea of we need this many ads or we need to do this much organic content. We start with what your actual business goals are, your actual in detail personas you're going to want, and what your budget is relevant to what you're trying to accomplish, and then come up with a plan that has the right amount of content engagement and ongoing nurturing to do that. Fundamentally, the founder entrepreneur startup has the same thinking and same type of, kind of culture that we have as a company and I have as a person leading the company, of how you think about solving problems and how you think about leveraging investment to grow. There's a big alignment on that philosophically that isn't always found at the corporate level. It's not that like we couldn't help a corporate level or we can't help them do things, but typically the way they think about approaching problems or marketing is fundamentally different. And it's not nearly as agile or see, our method is to give you a founder or a company, like an early stage company, an entire marketing team for less than it costs to hire a full-time employee. And when they have that, they have full power. They have full power of creating whatever they need: sales decks, pitch decks, posts, blogs, articles, whatever, logos. That's all they're available to them when they need it. Because in the early stages, you have to seize opportunities. You have to pivot quickly. And we help them do that with messaging and creating all this, marketing content and managing the social media and then ongoing nurturing of those customers.
What's the story behind the name Instantly Relevant?
Well, it originally was another name, which I'm not going to say because Instagram didn't like that name. And so we had to change to our tagline, which is instantly relevant. Longer story. Was very upset about it, by the way. I was not happy. Many cuss words were said. But at the end of the day, when you kind of take a step back, it became a better brand. It got us more focused around our people and made me take a step back and think, what do we want to do? Do we want to keep this name? Do we want to go someplace else with the name? But instantly relevant, the idea is you could become relevant faster by doing some techniques and thinking differently. And by doing that, you become relevant to your customers. It's a big thing we say that, trust opens the door, relevance closes the deal. And, if you can't just be trusted, like the customers and your prospects have to trust you, of course, but that's not enough. You have to be relevant. They have to see you as somebody and the content you could produce and the things that you're putting out there for them to consume or identify with. It has to be relevant to what their problem is and their voice. And that's where the instantly relevant piece comes. As soon as you have those two things, trust and relevance, you do become instantly relevant to your prospect or your customer.
And what's the hashtag?
It's hashtag instantly relevant. The little logo is, the idea is after a few hashtags, we can actually, your whole profile starts with what are the 3 hashtags you care about the most. And our little logo says that. And so the idea is if you care about X, Y, and Z, cool, what's your business goals to be relevant in those hashtags? I want to do this. We want to do that. Here's what this is. And we start backing up from kind of the social media notion of a hashtag that you want to be one of the leaders of the content and the executive eminence of those topics, those groups, that hashtag.
How you would like to speak about like getting out of the comfort zone? You are an entrepreneur. You've been an entrepreneur. You are into this for long. I think, is it easy? I used to ask this question with a bunch of people. Do you think entrepreneurship is easy? And what age you started, by the way, like your entrepreneurship journey?
Yeah, so I had an initial stint after the .com fall apart in like 2001 to about 2004 or 5, maybe. I don't remember honestly. I was terrible at it. I made enough to pay my bills and play golf, and never saved a dollar. And wasn't very good at it. I was not focused. So went back to corporate world. So I started this at 44 years old, and so I'm 46 now. And it feels like the exact time and the right time to do it. I've been wanting to get back to become an entrepreneur for forever. Funny enough, I've never been promoted ever. Different line. We can have that conversation someplace else. But I started at 44, and to get out of my comfort zone, you just do it. You have to really, being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's a daily emotional ride, followed by a weekly, followed by a monthly, followed by a yearly, sometimes by minute. It's funny how many entrepreneurs I'll ask, how many times a week or day do you apply for jobs? And they're like, oh, hourly. Then I'm back out of it. Then I'm back in it. And I'm like, so, so that's what it feels like to be an entrepreneur. So if you're signing up for that, by all means, do it while you have a W-2 job and at least get the foundations in place. But to get out of your comfort zone, a few things will have to happen. One, you'll have to have no fallback. You'll really have to take away your comfort zone of what you're trying to, what holds you from being full-time. So you can do some things to set that up, but you'll have to take away the safety net in it, because if you don't, you'll never have the focus and hunger to really do what you're going to need to do to get it focused. And that's for sure. And that's scary. So that's massive comfort zone, but you could do some things to get set up, like reducing your debt, get some income from the side hustle, whatever else. But get out of your comfort zone is write down the 5 things you hate doing the most when it involves is relevant to marketing, and go do those. So I hate doing selfies. I hate doing videos where I'm holding a phone talking. I really don't like TikTok. Go do that anyway. Get out of your comfort zone and just try it. Because the worst you can do is maybe delete it or try something different. You may find you're actually very good at it. If you hate writing, fine. Hire someone to go write for you. It'd be fine. And that's what I would tell you to do to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be able to really push yourself to do that. And here's another one too. So flip side of that, right, is let's say you're founding a company, you're a technologist at heart, like you're a techie, and now you founded a company. The comfort zone you'll have to get out of, we call this the executive eminence piece that would do for you, is you can't just be a developer anymore. You can't be that technical person. You can be a technical leader, but you're now a founder. You're a CEO. You're the head honcho of this company. You need to present yourself as such to raise money, to get customers to buy into you, or you need to go hire somebody for it. So sometimes you got to get out of what brought you here and become the next person you need to become. That's very difficult for people. We help them with that all the time, with helping them with their image, their look, their what they're saying and communicating on social media and content like that. That helps bring them out and get them a comfort zone of becoming that person.
Is it for everyone, or is it for the ones who are stubborn a lot?
I mean, I'm not the foremost expert on this, but I will tell you, it is not, in my opinion, it's certainly not for everyone. Entrepreneurship takes a certain profile of risk tolerance, where your core skill sets are. And this does not mean like you have to be that kind of person out there that's the talker, and that kind of every startup has like a hustler, a hacker, and a hipster, right? And you could be one of those three things. But somebody who really does operations well and gets stuff done could be a great entrepreneur. They're just going to have to learn how to leverage partners or outsource or get people on their teams to do the other pieces. And it's not for everyone, for sure. It is. Some people who want to be it should not be it, for no doubt about that. It's a fine line between unemployed and entrepreneur. I'll say it that way. So you have to have the right heart for it, but don't go. I wouldn't say go into it without doing some research of what it's going to take and what you need to be and how you're going to need to act and think. But it could be for lots of people who don't think so, but it is definitely not for everybody.
And according to you, is how easy it is to make a first $1 million, and then 10, and then 100?
I haven't done any of those. So, no, I mean, so it's not easy, right? So there's, if I've looked at other entrepreneurs who've been super successful, like 110, 100 million, right? Or $1 million, but you make your first dollar. That's how it starts, and then go replicate that. And then find ways to, and it's the same process, right? Find ways to operationalize and reduce costs so you can make, way more than that dollar and scale. And that's the methodology that you have to do, is not have too many ideas, get narrow and deep on a few, and you'll hit it. But the biggest piece of entrepreneurs are, you'll be tired, but you won't quit, and you'll be tenacious, and you'll last through it, and you'll weather it, and you'll find ways to succeed. Then you'll get to the point where you're making the money. And I wouldn't even set the targets $1 million. Think some entrepreneurs don't do it for money. Some of it's just lifestyle. If your company made $250,000 a year and you're able to take 125 of it, first of all, a very profitable company to be able to do that. Not a lot of money by any imagination in the US, right? It's a good amount of money, but it's not. You're gonna have a Honda Civic, probably 3 years old at best. You're gonna have to be tight, but you may not have a boss. You may have a really good lifestyle business, or it could be a side hustle. So I don't like to put the marks on how much money you make, because entrepreneurs do it for different reasons. And that's really important, I think, because you definitely want to be in it for the right reason for yourself. I'm tired of working for people. I just want a lifestyle business. But if you want to make it bigger, you're gonna have to find ways to scale, and that'll be a big challenge for any step of the way, is getting out of working in your business every day and start working on it.
Lastly, how we would like to say, how to set the realistic expectations for the start of success?
Yeah, so realistic expectations from my perspective is you're gonna be cash strapped every time until you've really got a machine making money for you. So prepare, no matter how much money you've raised, how much money you're making month to month. Your ambition, your progress, everything else is always going to put you potentially in a cash strapped position. So avoid that. so avoid that and expect that you're look at your projections of in a way that, man, I do not want to be cash strapped, because that's when you're going to absolutely get screwed out of your company, because you're going to have to give away way more of it. You want the raise investment, or you're going to have to shut it down. So that's one thing. The other is know that you're going to work a ton of hours. But I will say from experience, I don't look at everything I do every day as work anymore. When I'm on my own startup, I love being in it. I love talking with you. I love talking with my customers, my prospects. I absolutely enjoy it. And every day I wake up, I'm excited to get down here. And that's been, 2 years, right? So that's a real thing. And if you're not loving it, then you're probably doing the wrong thing. And I think that's the second expectation. And third, the expectation is take time to make time for your family and friends around you. It's very easy to get lost in work. It's very easy to get stressed out and work too many hours. You have to find some headspace time. For me, I block my entire Wednesdays to learn something, maybe do a podcast, do something fun that has not everything to do with work, but just gives me a break to be able to go do other things. Make sure you're taking time to eat dinner with the kids and the wife and going out and doing stuff. Even if you're cash strapped, find things to do, right? To spend time with those around you. That's an expectation that you need to set early. I fail at working out enough. I need to do that more often, but do those things. Find the time to have life balance, because that's why don't go replace your 9-to-5 job with a new one that you just hate being in. So find time to take the time because you're an entrepreneur. But then when you do work, be super focused. I mean, super focused.
Yeah. And being super focused and productive needs the break or rest to fit the mind, or so we should operate the best way.
Absolutely. You need the headspace time, because that's when the ideas will come. That's when the clarity will come, is when you step away from the mess and the fire and the weeds, so you can kind of see the whole forest. You do need to take time just to take a step back. It's you don't think the biggest expectation too of that, right? That statement is you don't think you have the time to do it, but you absolutely need to be able to solve some of the more complex problems.
And even it's for me right now. I've been thinking one name for my upcoming project from last 3 months, and I haven't got the name yet.
We'll find time after the podcast. We'll figure one out for you.
For sure. And what do you believe, what are the biggest cons, why startups fail?
No question. Undercapitalized, so not enough money. They spend too much money on things they shouldn't early, including marketing, building an MVP, things like this, events, like getting too fast to market potentially, where they don't really have they haven't taken the time to do branding or mission statement or unique selling proposition. Second is just endurance. I think a lot of startups fail because the founders can't endure it. They can't endure the long haul to become successful with it. And third, they really haven't done the work ahead of time to see what they're building is really a problem to be solved, and there's really a market to buy it. Or they built it in a way that's very transactional and not recurring, or they haven't priced it correctly. So there's a lot of things that are fixed by pre-work and really diving into your problem set of what you're solving. And I'd say the last one, by the way, me as a fourth, is they don't network. You have to network like freaking crazy. As much as I network, I think I could do way more, and I'm going to, right? And I think that's the most valuable piece, is the network, especially if you're going to raise money. No one gives you money if they don't know you, period.
Yeah.
They will get to know you, even if it's through somebody else, but you're going to have to check out. So the networking I'm talking about, it's not just maybe LinkedIn, it's literally meeting investors, meeting companies these investors are working with. You just really got to network, and you got to make time for that.
And any best advice do you have for early entrepreneurs, early founders, even like me?
Don't be afraid to put it out there. So be different, get out there and be bold, not arrogant, but bold, and go change the world on something. Like really find a good big problem to solve that you have a expertise in, and then dive into it all the way and really get into it. And then you'll find the holes and the missing links by being bold, by being out there as the person who is the enthusiast on it, and then therefore the expert on it. And then they have a whole brand and company behind it. Just don't have fear. Don't worry about it. Get out there and do it.
Thank you, Thomas. It was amazing to having you on the show. And thank you for sharing these bunch of insights, and thank you for getting into the show. I
appreciate you so much for having me. I look forward to speaking again with you in the future.
For sure.